Hi, today is day 3 of our camping trip around the coast of California. Today we're going to visit Oso Flaco Lake on the south side of Oceano Dunes. So we're a little south of Pismo Beach. There's a trail here, it leads out to the dunes and then to the ocean. We got some very pretty flowers. This is tall evening primrose, or common evening primrose. Bonifera biennis. He's got these pretty large yellow petals. Now he's not native to California. He comes to us from eastern United States, from Canada, down to Florida and Texas. So we're going to head up here and pay our fees, and we'll go on the trail. So hope you can join me. All right, check this out. Usually it's $5 per day. Today, parking fee is temporarily waived. Now that is very amazing. I just saved $5. We got restrooms over here. You need to use those before you head out to the trail. And I'll show you the trail map. They got posted here so you know what we're going to do. So we are here, Oso Flaco Deus, and we're going to hike down the trail to the end. So we're going to walk down the trail here. It takes about a mile, a little bit dirt, and then goes on a kind of a boardwalk out to the dunes. And we'll see if we can identify a bunch of plants and trees and shrub. So a lot of these trees have this scary Halloween kind of moss growing on them. Down here. This guy here, he's called a Twinberry honeysuckle, or California honeysuckle. He's got these little black berries. Now this sort of poisonous. Goes by the scientific name Lonicera involucrata. He's a native. He likes to grow in our moist, wooded areas. Now it's a short ways down, you'll find this little bridge here, which takes us to the beach. Watch out for our mountain lions. Alright. Now here are a couple of female mallard ducks. You know they're female by their shiny blue sides on their wings, usually hidden by the outer wing. So in the lake here we'll find both native and non-native fish. We've got striped mullet, he's a native. Largemouth bass, he's a non-native. We've got bluegill, Pacific staghorn sculpin, three-spined stickleback. He's a cool little fish. And we also have a lot of non-native crayfish. But the crayfish are good because they eat all the junk off the bottom. Keep this place clean. Over here we got some birds. We have a cormorant. He's drying himself off on this post here. So cormorants, they don't have any oil glands like a normal duck, like water off a duck's back. He's got oil glands, so the water goes off his back, but cormorants, they don't have oils, so they have to fan out in the breeze to dry themselves off. And this guy here is a ruddy duck. He's got that big blue bill. He's a male, of course. And over here, we have a little collection of ruddy ducks. That's the male. And these are either females or juveniles. Now it's hard to be really sure, but I think this tall saltwater grass is called California cordgrass, Sporobolus foliosus. Now he likes to grow in the salt marshes and the mud flats of California. Here we have some more cormorants. Just hanging out up here. And all around, see these guys flying around? These are swallows. Here we have a barn swallow in a tree. So way out in the water here, these are American white pelicans. So you can see that there through my camera. And they've got the largest wingspan of any bird in North America, except for the California condor. There's a mother with some little baby ducklings. Here we have a California least tern. Oh! He got something. These guys are super endangered, so it's really cool. We get to see him here flying around. And here we have a little red-winged blackbird hiding in the reeds. I'm not sure you could see him very well. So here's our toyon here with the serrated oval leaves. Heteromeles arbustifolia. But over here, this mossy stuff is called lace lichen, or Ramalina meziesii. It's a state lichen of California. And our toyon here has a fungus growing on it. And we'll continue up the trail along the bridge that leads to the ocean. All this pretty green shrub here is called mock heather, or California goldenbush, Arenaria, Ericoides. It's got lots of other native shrubs on the hillside here. So this guy here, he's called a seaside daisy, or a beach aster, or a seaside fleabane, Erigeron, glaucus. It's an asteraceae, so it's related to our daisies and sunflowers. And it grows in the sand here, all along our trail. And here, this is our Seacliff buckwheat, our coast buckwheat, or just cliff buckwheat, Erigeron parvifolia. So like California buckwheat, it has bundles of leaves, which alternate up the stem, but the leaves are a lot thicker and fleshier. It has these wonderful white pinkish flowers. They're great for pollination. And next to it is our native mock heather, or the California goldenbush, all along the trail. Wow, this place is amazing. This beautiful, beautiful coastal brush around all these dunes here. Absolutely fantastic. So here's our coyote brush. We've got a little more buckwheat here. Now this plant here is called a Nuttall's milkvetch, Astragalus nataliae. It's got these fern-like leaves, and the fruit is this papery, textured, inflated legume pod. Contains a ton of seeds. Now this variation only occurs in Central California. It's called an ocean bluff milkvetch, and he's pretty rare. Here we have some more of our Seacliff buckwheat, probably one of the most common plants up here. And this one guy here looks pretty round, lush, healthy. This is our narrow-leaved ice plant, Conicosia pugioniformis. He's got pretty long segments, usually yellow flowers. And this guy here, he's drying up a bit. He's an invasive perennial herb, comes to us from South Africa. He grows really wild up here in our dunes. Grows all along the hillside here in the trail. So I think all this grass here is European beachgrass, Ammophila arenaria. So it's not native, comes to us from the sand dunes of Western Europe and Africa, but he likes to really grow freely all over this place. This flowering shrub here, this is a Chamisso bush lupine, or silver dune lupine, or dune bush lupine. Lupinus chamissonus. Has this beautiful purple whorl of flowers at the tip of the stems. And the leaves, they come out in a sort of a pinwheel off the stem. Usually get 4 or 5. They're a little bit variegated. This here is called Dune ragwort, Senecio blochmaniae. He's a rare native shrub. He's an asteraceae. All these yellow daisy-like flowers. Here, he makes these puffy white seeds that will blow away in the wind. He's got sort of reddish stems. Gets really woody, messy near the base. Here's another one of our lupines. Got these great purple lavender clusters or whorls on the bloom. Super soft looking clusters of leaves. This guy here, he's really healthy. Wow, this is great. So all these guys here, this is all coyote brush. Sometimes we call it coyote bush, coyote brush. Anyway, it's got these little tiny serrated leaves. And these are dioecious plants, so the male plant is separate than the female plant. You find this all up and down California in the chaparral areas, all along the coast, even a bit inland as well. All right, so this guy here, he's an arroyo willow, Salix lasiolepis. Now you recognize him by his long leaves, sort of darker on top, lighter on the bottom. He's a member of the Salicaceae family, so he's a good source of medicine, like salicylic acid. This plant here is our super common California sagebrush, Artemisia californica. The stems contain terpenes, so it has a lot of pleasant, aromatic, turpentine-like smell. So over here is our common yarrow, Achillea millefolium. Has large capitulum flowers on top. Has these fern-like bipinnate feathery leaves. They're arranged sort of in a spiral pattern along the stem. They also get really woody after they flower. And this guy over here, these are Phacelia ramosissima, also called a branching Phacelia. He's a native perennial herb. This weedy plant, this is an Asteraceae. It's a bigelow thistle, or California thistle, Cirsium occidentale, variation californicum. He's a native perennial herb. Got these soft purple flowers, but super prickly along the stem and the leaves. So we're getting closer to the end of the trail. Things kind of open up a little bit as we get to the dunes and the beach. Today it's really crowded. I don't know why. There's a lot of people here. This messy shrub here is called deerweed, Acmyspin glaber. He used to be called Lotus scoparius. He's a native perennial herb. He's pretty much a pioneer plant along the dry areas of California, so he loves it up here in our dunes in California chaparral areas. Now it flowers from about March to August, and they come in clusters at the upper parts of the stems. So we're almost at the end of the trail. Here are the dunes. They're out here we're going to go to. Here's the trail still. Here's some more of our invasive narrow-leaved ice plant. Comes from South Africa. Has these yellow flowers, succulent leaves, and if left unchecked, it'd pretty much take over this whole hillside. This plant here is called yellow yarrow, or golden yarrow, Areophyllum comfer typhlorum. He's an Asteraceae. He's also a native shrub of California, down to Baja. He's got beautiful yellow flower heads. Now each head consists of about 30 individual flowers, which of course contain their own disc flowers and ray florets. So this is not really true yarrow. He just looks like one. He likes to grow in clumps with erect stems, usually gets about 2 feet high. And his genus, Areophyllum, it means woolly leaves. So out here in the sand, we mostly have our pink sand verbena, Arenaria umbellati. Sometimes it's called purple sand verbena. Likes to grow real close to the ground, sandy soils, well-drained soils. It's got really thick, succulent leaves, and you can have just a few leaves or a lot, depending on the conditions. And of course, we have more of our Phacelia. with a little yellow-faced bumblebee. Here's more of our yellow yarrow on the walkway and up on the sand dune, along with our goldenbush and a few other dune plants. So we're at the end of the trail. Here you have a choice. You can go up to the little lookout station or go to the beach. So we're going to go to the beach. Walk across the sand. We got our sand verbena here. Now we look at the sand plants and flowers. This plant here, grown all alone, is called a European skyrocket, or Coccylia maritima. Now he's an invasive species, comes to us from Europe, North Africa, Western Asia. It's an annual. He grows in clumps or mounds in the sand. It's a hairless succulent plant, got shiny leaves, usually tinted with purple or magenta. It's got light purple flowers. We have lots of different low-lying sand-loving shrubs and herbs up here as well. Hey, we made it to the end. Here's the beautiful Pacific Ocean. And over here is a real special area. It's a breeding habitat for the California least tern and the western snowy plover. They're both endangered. They have a hard time breeding out here because of problems with the dunes, people taking over beaches. Sometimes dogs and predators come on, scare them away. Go head down here, we'll see if we can find some. I don't know, usually the terns take off. And the snowy plovers are really shy. They're hard to find. So here's a pile of kelp. And all those flies on there, we just call them kelp flies. But when you walk up to them, they all fly away. You step back, they all fly back on the kelp. So watch this. They're all gonna fly away. Here they go. They're all over the place out here. I'm gonna step back. They're all gonna hop back on. It's like a million of them. And if I walk forward, then they all hop off. That's how the kelp flies operate. Okay, let's head down here, see if we find a plover or tern. Well, we don't have any of our terns or plovers, but we have a couple western gulls here from the genus Larus. Maybe next time. But here's a picture of a California least tern, and here's a picture of a western snowy plover. So I hope you enjoyed our little visit down here to the preserve, Oso Flaco River and Lake. I hope we learned something today. Thanks for watching. Bye.